Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. Well, I'm back for the monthly market update for the Toronto Real Estate Board, and this is for January. Now, I'm going to do something different every month because I want to keep trying to bring you a different comparison in terms of what's going on in the market. So if you watch all of these updates, you'll always get a deeper understanding every single month. So here's what I'm going to do this month. I'm going to compare January to the last 5 years. I've gone back 5 years, but it's only January every single year. I'm also going to show you what's going on in the 416 opposed to the 905, and I'm also going to show you the different property types in terms of months of inventory, you know, detached, semis, condo, apartments, that sort of thing. So let's have a look. If we look here, you can see in 2019 we did about 4,000 sales. Now, the positive news, that was up a little bit, you can see, from 2018, which is obviously very, very good. And then 2017, we did 5,100, almost 5,200. We did almost 4,700 here and 4,300 here. So you can see these 3 years here were like crazy, right? It was really good. And then what happened, you know, foreign buyer tax went in April here. It still was a relatively strong year, especially the first 3 to 4 months of the year. And then, of course, it went down. You know, we had stress testing, obviously, in January that went into place. That affected the market a little bit. And then you can see we're back up just a little bit right here, which is sort of good news. I think it's actually very good news. But what about active listings? So if we look here, you can see we're operating with around 11,600, and then they started to drop because the market was so busy. Look at here, we only had 5,000 active listings, and we were doing like 5,100 sales. Incredible, right? And then here, 11,000, almost 11,900, and 11,900. So here's what's cool. If you look at January of 18 and 19, almost the same, your active listings almost the same as well. Now, what does that mean? That means your months of inventory is the same. Remember, if you look at the strength of a market or the strength of a property type or the strength of a geographical area, it's always going to be based on months of inventory. So we've got 3 months of inventory. So I back this up. You can see if I take 12,000 listings, divide 4,000 into it, what does it give me? It gives me 3 months of inventory. So if we go back to 15, we had 2.7, 2.1. Here it was crazy. It was below 1. And then 18 in January was 3, and 19 in January is 3 as well. So it stayed right around the same. Now, I think this is very positive. I think what you're going to see is, I think we're going to see in the Toronto Real Estate Board, we're going to see sales start to increase over the months of 2018 as the year goes on. So here's what's going on with prices. If we look at prices, and again, this is January, last 5 years, we're at 552. We're at 631. We were at 770, went to 735, and January of this year was 748. So it's pretty cool because look at, our prices were actually up. Now, what's going to happen the rest of this year, and this is just a prediction, who really knows, but my prediction is we're probably going to get back up by the end of the year to roughly what we had in 2017. Why? Because our months of inventory is still in more of a seller's type market. Remember, 4 to 6 months is balanced. Above 6, what happens? You start to move into a buyer's market. So this is an indication that prices should continue to rise. Now, if we look here, these are your micro markets, okay, in terms of property type. So you can see the board, 3 months of inventory. If you look at detached, we get 4.2. So what does that signify? That signifies that detached properties on the Toronto Real Estate Board are more into the balanced market. Now, the higher the price, probably the more months of inventory. The lower the price in detached, probably the less we have. So what's probably happened is we're probably having prices maybe weakening in very expensive detached homes, but if we look at the low-end detached, we got prices going up. So this has moved into a balanced market. You can see semi-detached 1.7, condo townhouses 2, attached 2.4, and condo apartments 2.1. So these markets here, very strong, still very much, okay, a seller's marketplace. Now, let's have a look at this. Let's look at the average price in January of all the different property types. So remember, the board reported 748. We look at detached was 941. We look at semis was 742. We look at condo townhouses 567, attached 699, and condo apartments 548. So obviously it tells you, why is this market a little bit stronger than this market? Because of affordability, obviously. People want to get into the market, so they're going to probably move into this area right here because this is what they can afford. So moving on, let's look at 416 opposed to 905. 905 is the gray, 416 is the red. This is the number of sales in January. Detached, there's 342 in 416. Look at 1,361 in 905. Bigger geographical area, right? Semi-detached, 91, 248. Townhouses, 141 to 544. But look at condo apartments, interesting. Look at, we had way more condo apartments, okay, that sold in the 416 opposed to the 905. Why? Number one, we got a lot more high rises down there, obviously. Okay, so in other words, we've got more to choose from down there. But again, people downtown, a lot of them, that's all they can afford. So this is what you're going to see is going to remain fairly strong. So looking at this, this is your micro markets in terms of months of inventory. And I thought this would be interesting to you. Can you imagine taking some of this content and creating this for maybe your listing presentation or working with buyers, or maybe pushing some of this content out? Like buyers and sellers, homeowners in general, will find this stuff interesting. You can't use it all, but you could use pieces of it, obviously. So detached, you can see 416, 3.9 months of inventory, 4.2, almost the same, right? Semi-detached, not far off. Townhouse, exactly the same. Condo apartments, you can see here, almost the same as well. So months of inventory is not really different based on the 416 or the 905. So we come to the end here, but I want to talk about 2019. So when I look at these numbers to me made me very hopeful, if you will. I'm not convinced we're going to see rate increases this year. If we do, it might be one. I know there's a lot of talk right now of the government looking at the stress test. Will they get rid of it or change it? Nobody knows for sure right now, but at least they're talking about it, and it would help if they did. But I would say for Toronto, compared to Western Canada, Eastern Canada is doing pretty good. If you're a real estate agent working, okay, in the Toronto Real Estate Board marketplace, you have a very, very, very good market to work in. Sure, it's not what it was back in 15, 16, and 17, I understand that, but that was a market out of control. This is a much more balanced market. It gives people time to think. Buyers don't have to rush. Sellers don't have to rush. You know what I mean? People can make more informed, rational decisions. So this year, I believe we're going to see it will continue to increase a little bit. Every month I think is going to get a little bit better, and I do believe that by the end of 2019, we will have beat 2018 in terms of the number of sales. So get out there, educate your prospects, let them know what's going on, help them make an educated and informed decision. Anyway, beautiful life, everybody. Make it count.